9:12 right now in a news alert out of New York City. Students are being forced to learn online as nearly 2,000 migrants move into their school.
Nate Foy is live in Brooklyn with the latest with what's going on. Nate, what can you tell us about this?
Well, good morning. I can tell you that a couple state assemblymen and concerned parents just spoke moments ago, and they are very upset that the students at this school, 3,600 students, are learning remotely today because of those nearly 2,000 migrants that moved in last night at the city's direction. Those migrants, because the weather is a bit better today than it was last night, have since been moved back to their tent facility. That happened at 4:30 this morning, but the impact continues for the students today. They're learning remotely.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, G11, and this is the Homie Talk Podcast. So today, you guys saw the video that we started off with talking about New York and the migrants. And I'll tell you what, I don't know why, for the life of me, that the mayors of these cities won't go ahead and just say we are no longer a safe haven city. I think that's what they're calling them. All the cities, all the democratic cities that are taking the migrants, using up all your taxpayer dollars and all your resources, literally to just pay for them, to just, give them free healthcare, give them free housing, all types of stuff, right? Let's talk about what happened today. We got a situation over in New York, right? They got to bring them to the front of the congregation again. Comes from the New York Post. Outraged parents, polls worried decision to boot New York City students from school for nearly 2,000 migrants will set a troubling precedent. This just broke today. So unless you guys are living under a rock, this just broke. Basically, this high school where these migrants were placed forced their students to stay home and do distance learning for the day so that they could temporarily locate these migrants there. And let's get into the article. It explains it. Parents and polls are outraged that students were booted from a Brooklyn school to make room for nearly 2,000 migrants during Tuesday's storm, and warned it could become part of the city's playbook as officials stumble to keep pace with the runaway migrant crisis, right? At some point, there's just not going to be enough room. There's not going to be enough money, right? At some point, these cities got to really look at the situation. These mayors and these governors be like, look, we can't. We literally can't, right? But they refuse to do it for and the federal government is doing nothing. They are quiet. They have said nothing about what's going on. I think Mayor Adams went up to the White House to try to find Biden not too long ago. He took a visit. Biden was hiding in the back. Biden sent the goons out there. He said, hey, is he gone yet? Type situation. Biden sent them out, man. Man, I tell you what, this is exactly, we're going to start seeing more stories like this as this continues to unfold, man. Thousands of migrants coming in every single week, every single month, hundreds by the day. Who can literally keep up? Nobody can keep up with that. These safe haven cities are going to get destroyed. I'll tell you what, we never know what's going to happen with the weather. State Assemblyman Michael Novak, Republican of Brooklyn, said outside James Madison High School, they can be moved here again depending on the weather conditions. So I guess this is, who is that? I don't know if he's the president. Not the president of the school, but the principal. It just says our Brooklyn. Maybe he's like I don't know what he is. We'll have to look that up. If the weather's bad again, are migrants supposed to be moved to the school again? Because schools are not the place for migrants. As simple as that. Oh, okay. Here's what he's saying. He said they could be moved here again depending on the weather conditions. If the weather is bad again, are they supposed to come to the school again? And I agree. Like, schools are just that. They are schools. This is where our children go to get the education they need to, at least get the foundations to operate later in life, right? Basic skills and such, right? This is not supposed to be a place where we're putting migrants because we don't have enough actual shelters to hold them, right? I mean, New York already had a homeless problem. Now you get a migrant problem. It's crazy. The backlash stems from a last-minute decision by Mayor Eric Adams to bus hundreds of migrant families from a controversial tent shelter at Floyd Bennett Field to the school 5 miles away, with asylum seekers forced to nap on a gym floor before being wrestled back to the shelter just hours later. Man, if this isn't we got to figure out where to put these people type play. I don't know what else is. This means they really don't have room. Mayor Adams, he's just saying put them anywhere. Just get them somewhere so we could just get them somewhere. Look at that, man. Look at that picture right there, sleeping on a damn gym floor. This is crazy. This is crazy. Is this really better than where they're coming from? I don't know. This is nuts. The move displaced Madison High students who were forced into remote lessons on Wednesday. And we already know, right, during the COVID lockdown situation where everything was shut down, social distancing, our students got dumber, right? This distance learning does not work well for a younger crowd at all, not even a little bit. The writing was on the wall the minute the city started being inundated with migrants, said one mother who only gave her name as Maria. Maria, it's disgusting. It should not be put on us taxpayers. I agree with you, Maria. You are literally funding the transportation, the food, the health care for these migrants that are just coming in and capitalizing off of our lack of action on this, all right? Her teen daughter, a student at the school, added, I do believe they are putting the life of people who are here illegally and not documented over my life. I am a 15-year-old girl at the school who wants to get her education and better her life. And she can't come to school today because the day was interrupted by people who aren't supposed to be here. Woof. Mama Lena Becker called the move to force students to stay home a horrible decision during a rally outside the school that began with tense exchanges with a handful of counter-protesters. We were concerned how this will affect the students in the future. And if it's a one-time thing, Becker said. But if it's going to be a recurring event, it's definitely not acceptable. The school should not be used, she added. Our kids are supposed to be here feeling safe and able to learn. Many of our kids have regents coming up in February, and they just lost a day of school, a day of learning. And for those of you who are in education, or even if you might not be familiar with education, losing a day of learning is a pain in the ass to try to make up, right? As an instructor, I kind of deal with that a little bit, right? If we fall behind or we miss a day, I got to figure out in my lesson plan, okay, how can we make up that day? Okay, we got to get in an extra lesson here. We got to get another lesson there. It is crazy trying to make this stuff up. So now you're taking these kids out of school for not really a good reason, to be honest. And now, as a result, you have all these second, third, and fourth order effects. This is bananas. This is absolutely bananas. Cops said the backlash over the brief migrant relocation included bomb threats called in at the school and the Madison Hotel on the Lower East Side, possibly over confusion over the name. Everybody knew this was going to happen, City Councilman Michael Riley said of the migrant move. If you didn't see it coming, then you were either blind, dumb, or just stupid. We knew it was going to happen, and it's just going to happen again, but it's going to happen in the school in your neighborhood, Riley said. The influx of asylum seekers has already put a strain on the school system. Think about that for a second. Why is the influx of migrants affecting the school system? Look at this. Thousands of migrant children enrolled in classes while some schools were used as migrant facilities over the summer. The city has also shown a penchant for using shuttered school buildings as full-fledged migrant shelters. A plan to use the former St. Johnville Academy on Staten Island sparked so much outrage from locals that the city eventually dropped the idea. The people in that neighborhood said, hell no. We do not want that around here. City officials on Wednesday deafened the decision to uproot the Floyd Bennett Field migrants for several hours. City officials defended after concerns were raised that the tent at the former federal airfield could collapse under torrential rain and dangerous winds that hit the borough late Tuesday and into Wednesday. So herein is the problem. You got all these temporary shelters that you're storing these people, and now you're dealing with the elements. And we know winters in New York are crazy. It snows, it rains, it's brutal over there. A tent's not going to do it. They need more buildings. They need more facilities to be able to deal with this situation. or they could simply just not be a safe haven city and go that route. But it's not going to happen. Mayor Eric Adams is going to continue. The migrants began arriving at the second floor school gym shortly before 5 p.m. and were bused back starting at 1 a.m., with all of them back in the shelter by 4:30 in the morning. Wow. Photos posted on X by Adams showed lines of school desks lined up in the Madison High School gym with blankets and other supplies strewn about as migrant families napped on the floor. Anybody sleeping in the auditorium by definition is never going to be comfortable, City Health and Hospital Senior Vice President Theodore Long said Wednesday. Right? It's a gym floor. It's not designed for sleeping. It's designed for playing basketball. Our goal was to make you do everything in our power to make you as comfortable while having your safety as a top priority, he said. That's why we did things like provide hot meals, blankets, pillows, but safety was paramount important to us, given that we want to make sure we're protecting the children. More than 165,000 migrants from the U.S. border have arrived in the 5 boroughs since the spring of 2022. Wow, with nearly 70,000 currently being housed and fed by the taxpayers. I don't even think we need to look at it anymore. It's the end of the article. This is crazy, y'all. People of New York, what y'all think, man? This is actually bananas. It really does seem like they are putting the needs of the migrants above the needs of the people, right? New York has a crime problem. It's got a cost of living problem. It's got a homeless problem. All types of other things that should be taken care of, like actual things, and that the taxpayers are funding. And yet Mayor Eric Adams, he's standing on his guns with this safe haven joint, dealing with all these migrants, because Texas is not playing. The governor down there is like, look, y'all, okay, y'all safe haven, we're going to keep sending them by the busload. He's not letting these mayors take a break. Chicago and New York are getting fucked, all right, for lack of a better term. I mean, that's just what it is. And until, these mayors decide, okay, enough is enough, we need to actually just shut this shit down. No, they want to stand on business and stay on Biden's team. It is what it is. Hey, so people watching at home, let me know what you think about this situation. Because now it's affecting the schools. It's affecting your children's learning, right? We're already behind because of the COVID situation. And now you're putting migrants in the schools, prioritizing that over children's education. Let that sink in. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new over here on the channel. And we'll see you in the next one. Until then, I'm out of here. Peace.